A routine mop-up operation at an oil tank fire in South Texas. Firefighters relax, believing they are out of danger. But suddenly, without warning, a deadly fireball sends them running for their lives. The woman running is volunteer firefighter Rosie Garcia.
I thought that if I didn't get there fast to get away from it, I was gonna die. It was hot.
It begins as an uneventful summer day for the firefighters in Three Rivers, Texas. But when the alarm sounds for an oil tank fire, they quickly respond. The tank, which holds oil from field wells, has overflowed. A spark, possibly from a passing car, ignited the spilled oil. The fire spreads into the tank, and now 20,000 gallons of highly combustible crude oil are burning, creating plumes of jet black smoke. It will not be an easy fire to extinguish.
It was big. You could see it from miles away. It looked very scary.
News cameraman David Villarreal is dispatched to cover the unfolding disaster.
It was probably about 95 degrees. It was a hot summer day. I had no idea how hot it was going to get.
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Villarreal videotapes the scene from a respectful distance. But soon he moves in for a closer look. Firefighters spray fire-retardant foam to extinguish the flames outside. The foam cuts off the fire's oxygen supply to smother it. But getting it to the oil inside is a problem. The only opening is a small hatch on top of the tank. So firefighters must shoot foam through the opening, trying to hit a very small target. They use a lot of foam, and when the flames go down, they think it worked.
Everybody seemed to be confident that the fire was being put out. You can see some of the firefighters actually drinking soda and having sandwiches.
But the fire only appears to be under control. Suddenly, it explodes back to life in a massive fireball, catching everyone by surprise.
I'm turning my camera, I could see it rising and billowing pretty quick.
The temperature of the fireball is estimated to be more than 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt steel.
I covered my eyes and I'm rolling. I could see my eyepiece, what I was shooting. That's when I got burned, right there. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't blocked my eyes.
Villarreal points his camera behind him and sprints to safety.
And I ran as fast as I could. And I realized that I was burnt. I was in pain. And there for a minute, I thought I wasn't going to make it. It was that scary.
Damn it. I got my arm burned.
You okay?
You burn up?
A little. It felt like it was getting hot and hotter. And then I looked at it, and it was red. Then by the time I looked at it again, it had blisters on it.
What'd you think about when the explosion happened? What'd you think about it?
I didn't have much to think. I just ran.
The blisters started to swell, and it got very uncomfortable, and the pain just wouldn't go away. But I had no choice but to keep shooting because it was burnt people worse than I was.
Luckily, no one is killed. Paramedics rush the severely wounded to the hospital. Only then does Villarreal finally seek medical attention for himself. But even then, he doesn't turn off his camera. He hands it to a reporter to document his own first aid. Firefighters again attack the fire with foam. It is an hour before the fire is under control, and 4 hours before they are sure the blaze is out. The question on everyone's mind is, what happened?
What do you think caused that explosion?
Just water inside the tank boil over, crude boil over.
The firefighter turns out to be right. The fire retardant foam is quite effective, and if enough of it had reached the fire, it would have smothered it. But the small rooftop hatch made it hard to get enough foam to the source of the flames. The fire crew mistakenly believed it had extinguished the blaze. Instead, oil continued to burn inside the tank, unseen. In time, the heat liquefied the foam. It then sank to the bottom, and as it got hotter, began boiling. It built up a tremendous head of pressure, and finally burst to the surface in a massive fireball of steam and burning oil. Rosie Garcia's close brush with death has lasting effects, prompting her to quit the volunteer fire service.
I'm still having nightmares about it sometimes. That's why most of the time I just block it.
David Villarreal's burns are not serious, but he's never forgotten how close he came to dying.
And I've covered quite a bit of tragedies and fires and shootouts and put myself in some very dangerous situations, but that one there, I thought for a second, it's time for me to go.
Ultimately, everyone was lucky to have escaped at all. The fact that the oil was hard to reach made conditions extremely hazardous. A more experienced crew would not have relaxed its guard while still unsure that the fire was completely out. In the heat of this moment, the firefighters' narrow escape was a reminder of the volatile nature of fire.